Hello everybody out there and welcome to this, another edition of a late night scream review. This week we're talking about Vicious. Ooh, he's so vicious.
I'm gonna start. What? This will be for you now. You are going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
So Vicious was directed by Brian Bertino and is in Paramount Plus and other major streaming services as of, I think, October 10th. This is a late one, folks. So what's the story? It's nearly Halloween. It's mental. So the story tells of a lady named Polly who's kind of down and out, not in really the best place in life. She's like in her early 30s and things aren't going great. She lives on her own, etc, etc, etc. One day she receives a mysterious black box, and with that black box comes like a sand timer. And what you have to do is you have to put 3 things in the box before the timer runs out. So it's kind of a ticking clock kind of a movie. And the 3 things you have to put in is something you need. I think it's in that order. Let me just double check. Something you need, something you hate, and something you want. Something you need, something you hate, and something you love. That's what you have to put in the box. And the box is only like tiny. Otherwise, really, really bad things happen. And it's not as easy as all that, as we'll come to find out in the film. So what did I think of the movie? That's just me with a bit of card. So this film is basically a one-person play, essentially. The main actor is Dakota Fanning. I've always been a really big fan of hers. She's been in a couple of recent horror films just lately, actually. The last one was The Watchers, which I think I had mixed reviews about, but I generally liked her and her performance and what she was doing in that film. So Dakota Fanning, she plays this girl called Polly who lives on her own in a really nice big house, I've got to say. I don't know if it's just a kind of cultural thing, American thing, I don't know. But her house seemed really, really big and nice. It seems like she's down and out in terms of a job. She's got a mum ringing her on the phone, bugging her all the time, you know, trying to push her along in her life because, you know, she's not getting any younger. She's got tattoos and she smokes. That's how we know she's basically not the best person, I guess. One day, a mysterious old lady knocks on her door in the middle of the night and then gives her this box and kind of says, "You're going to die. You're going to die tonight unless you do what the box tells you." And then she kind of disappears. It's like, what? Okay. And then it's also a haunted box, so things happen around the house. There's ghosts that appear, there's things that happen, mysterious phone calls with creepy voices, all that good stuff. So it's not just about the box. There's things happening around the house as well. And essentially the entity tells her, like, you've got to put, you know, something you need in this box, something you hate in the box, and something you love in the box. If you don't do it, you're gonna die. And so the whole film is about the kind of the fear of death. I don't want to die. I'll do anything not to die. It doesn't matter what I have to put in this box, you know. And it kind of shows the character of the person being put under the trial, essentially. It kind of reminded me of Saw in that respect, you know, being tested, you know, a person's morality and ethics being tested to their fullest. And so it might be like something you need. Obviously, she's a smoker. The first thing she tries to do is put a packet of cigarettes in because she needs the cigarettes. And the box doesn't like that. So if you put something in the box that the box doesn't like, it punishes you. And the box is there to try and drive you mad. It's doing horrible things and saying horrible things, and people are like jumping out at you and doing, you know, all kinds of ghastly, ghostly things to you, driving you mad slowly over the night, so that you'll end up doing anything it says, basically, because you're just desperate not to die, essentially. And so I guess I don't want to give away what she puts in the box because that's the kind of thrust of the whole movie, but the cigarettes weren't good and she gets punished. And this kind of goes on all night. And then by the morning, there's a resolution, things come to an end, come to a dramatic end, and then that's the movie. It's very much a one-person play. You get the odd character either over the phone, which there are quite a couple of interestingly scary, creepy voice discussions over the phone, which I found quite quite impressive, really, for a film that's obviously set in 2025 is a modern movie, that you can still make a mobile phone scary. I think that's pretty cool. There's a neighbour, very briefly, the old lady, obviously, but other than that, it's pretty much Dakota Fanning on her own, and she does a great job in this movie, by the way. Like, again, I'm always impressed by what I see her in, and this film was no exception. I thought she was brilliant in this movie, and she deserves more kudos. I don't know. I feel like we don't hear enough out of her, but she seems to be in a lot of like smaller movies, but they're good quality movies, and even if I didn't like fully love them, for example, I've always thought they've been good quality, well made movies. Well shot, well directed for the most part, and what have you. So yeah, like let's big Dakota Fanning up a bit more, please. there's my little shout out. I think she's gonna go places, bless her. But anyway, the movie. So what did I think? I enjoyed this movie. I liked it. I didn't love it. I was close to loving it though. I was close to loving it. It literally let me down on a couple of things. I think that what the entity was doing was slightly repetitive. Creepy phone call, there's a guy in the cupboard, or something knocking on the window in the house, and this and that and the other. Like, some of the phone calls were really creepy, but bar that, the entity wasn't doing anything. Like, if it were me, I'd have just been, like, laughing at the entity, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing that for? That's stupid. The idea is that it's supposed to be driving you crazy. It's supposed to be making you afraid to die. So, it's like, you're going to die, you're going to die. And then you put anything in the box. But for me, the things it was doing weren't that bad. Like, I was just a bit like, yeah, it's annoying. It keeps turning the telly on and saying stuff on the telly. Just unplug the telly or smash the TV screen. Then it can't do it anymore. There's only so many electrical outlets you've got in your house, surely. But, maybe that's just me being a bit being a bit nitpicky. And that's fair enough. That's fine. Bar that, the ending I thought was quite good. I'm always a big stickler for the endings, because the endings always, or the last third of the film, always seem to let me down, whereas this film didn't. It was really consistent all the way through. As I say, beautifully shot, looked amazing. Some of the scares were good, and the phone call stuff and the audio stuff was really good. And the acting was top-notch from all the actors, because even the people that just come in for 5 minutes, they really do a lot of work and then leave the movie. But that's great, isn't it? Because it kind of builds the kind of the atmosphere and the kind of surroundings of, because the whole film takes place in basically the house, but you get a sense of the outside world with the characters popping in every now and again, very rarely, and they were all great. And the main actress, again, like I said, was great, and like, you really felt for her. The only thing I'll say about her is she's not a very good screamer. Really good crier, really good emotion, but the screaming wasn't great. Again, that's a nitpick. All I have is nitpicks on this film, because it is generally a good movie. There was one other thing, but it's escaping me now, what I didn't like. Quick edit. Oh, I remembered. There we go. This film slightly suffers from that every modern film, I feel, suffers from, and it just can't get it right. When you introduce a new creature, a new thing, there's a law, there's got to be rules, there's got to be how something works. And this has that. You've got the box, you've got to put stuff in it, it's got to be the right thing, though. I don't know how the demon kind of deciphers what the right thing is. And I don't really know what the motivations are, or why it's happening. The character even says, why is this happening to me? I'm not a bad person, I haven't done anything. And apparently it's because she's a bit broken. She's like a broken person, so the entity targets her. And I'm like, in the modern world, how many broken people are there? Like every other person's broken, depending on how you define that, So it was a bit like, she doesn't seem like, she's not like a complete, awful human being. She hasn't, at the beginning of the movie, she hasn't done anything terrible. Like, I don't know, like abandon her daughter or blah, 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 blah. She hasn't done anything wrong. She's just a normal woman. She's just struggling a little bit. And then this entity latches onto her, and I was a bit like, really? Why? So I didn't quite get that. And I don't know, Yeah, I just didn't understand what the entity was. I always like a bit of a thing where we find a scroll or there's something etched into the box so you can find out stuff. And like, there's a bit of a mystery and you can kind of like investigate. I think most of the time it is investigations in horror films now are just clicking on the internet and doing a Google search. But even so, I do like that. I like a little bit of mythology. But this film kept it very ambiguous. We didn't really know what the entity was, what it really actually wanted, why it was doing what it was doing. Only that it targets broken people and that you have to put three things in the box because otherwise you'll die. And the whole film is this talk about what people will do or how low you'll sink in a kind of morality play to avoid dying. Um, and I think, to be honest, it kind of undersells that slightly. I don't know if it's because, as I said before, there's not enough mythology there, or the scares quotation marks weren't as big as they could have been. I don't know. I don't know. It was just lacking slightly, I think, in those guys. I mean, again, it's a bit of a nitpick because I think people out there will watch this film and go, "What are you talking about? This film is scary crazy," and I loved it. And I think other than that, other than those little nitpicks, it's a really well made, great movie. It's really worth your time, and it's again, it's not a high recommend. It's been a rough year for 2025 so far, and reaching up to Halloween, it's not a high recommend. It's just a recommend. I do recommend going to stream, like watch it on stream. I think it's really good quality film. I think it's actually better than the last film I saw Dakota Fanning in, which was The Watchers, which I thought was okay, but it had a lot of problems. But this film is a lot better than that movie. So if you were a fan of that film, but you thought, I'd like to see something a bit better, then this is the film for you. If you're a fan of creepy, psychological, morality play, dread, one person in a house on her own trying to figure a thing out, freaking out, then this is the film for you. It's a small film, but it's a really well-made horror movie. So I recommend going to see Vicious. Yeah. So that's my review on Vicious, guys. Until next time, stay safe, stay scared, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.